Kids shows too disturbing for kids. Visual Venture has come through with a banger day after day after day, week after week after week. And if you think I'm gonna miss an episode or let you miss an episode, never. Never.
Why didn't anyone stop this? Did the host go to jail?
Or looking back at old scenes and saying, Dan Schneider is obsessed with feet. This feels inappropriate for children.
When TV shows market themselves as appropriate for kids, you would
Just want to say, after we get through these reacts, I do have to take a poop. It's like I meant that when we were watching the video on Mr. Beast. Like I've just been holding it because like I've like let me get through these reacts and then I'm gonna go. But I know TMI, but like I do like once these reacts are over, before we get into Undertale, I do have to. I've been squeezing my booty hole for like almost an hour, right? So give me some credit for booty hole squeezing skills, like.
expect fun. When TV shows market themselves as appropriate for kids, you would expect fun, bubbly characters with colors flying across the screen. But for some kids networks, that isn't the case. Instead of parents feeling a sense of relief, they now have to worry about what their children are watching behind their backs, because the true horrors that hide behind the for kids label can be haunting. I'm Visual Venture, and we're diving into the dark world of kids TV shows, starting from the most appropriate shows to the most disgusting ones. I'm not gonna lie, the last ones terrified me. Cow and Chicken. First released in July of 1997, Cow and Chicken was a beloved animated comedy series on Cartoon Network. The show followed an unlikely sibling duo of Cow and Chicken as they went on a series of wild adventures. The series became a fan favorite for its out-of-pocket humor, but most of these praises came from adult watchers instead of actual kids, since many of the jokes were clearly targeted at a much older audience. When it came to kids, Cow and Chicken wasn't exactly the best show to watch. Many of the show's main punchlines tied back to inappropriate undertones, particularly referring to butts. Although using butts as the butt of the joke is a common thing in cartoons, Cow and Chicken takes it to a whole nother level by making it an actual plot point in some episodes. Cow in particular is always seen showing her behind to the screen, and the character is only supposed to be 7 years old. Chicken, her older brother, is only 11. But while
Hold on. But wait, like don't make it weirder than it has to be. Is it like 7 and 11 in normal years or animal years? Hold on, cause don't make this weirder. Like what? Like all right, like all right, all right. Pause. Pause. I think we're talking about like dog years. So like cow is really 49 and Chicken is really 77. Get the fuck up out of here. Stop
this can be only supposed to be is always seen showing her behind to the screen, and the character is only supposed to be 7 years old. Chicken, her older brother, is only 11. But while this can be argued as just part of cartoon culture, there's also other red flags about the show that parents have pointed out, or more like a red character. The show's main antagonist is a character named Red Guy, who's the mayor of the fictional town that Cow and Chicken live in. This character is constantly trying to get in the way of Cow and Chicken's plans. Red Guy never wears clothes, and like Cow, he always has his behind exposed. Red Guy was first introduced to the audience in the pilot.
Is this show really popping like that? Because I ain't never, like, I've seen it. I'm just saying I didn't think it would be like holy cap. I've seen it, but like, I'm not turning on Cartoon Network saying, let me watch Cow and Chicken, nigga. Like, when this shit came on, I'm 95% sure that I changed the episode, that I changed the channel. 95% sure that I changed the channel, bro. I don't remember this shit being a hit.
Pilot episode No Smoking as the main antagonist, and is very clearly portrayed as the devil. In this episode, he's shown as the ruler of hell, and he is actively trying to recruit Chicken to join him. In order to bring someone to hell, Red Guy has to convince them to make a bad choice. So he decided to tempt Chicken into taking a cigarette and smoking it, which landed him in hell for smoking at a young age. While there, Red Guy continues to force Chicken to smoke even more cigarettes cigarettes to the point of suffering. Almost immediately after airing, this episode was banned from television networks for being too inappropriate for kids. And although the showrunners intended to scare kids away from smoking, parents argued that children may take the episode at face value. And with the implications of hell and the red guy being who he is, parents were also concerned about the portrayals of religious figures in the series. After such a controversial first episode, Cow and Chicken completely shifted their direction and even rebranded the devil to just Red Guy. But even after such drastic changes to the show's main premise, parents were still concerned over the content of the show. Although Red Guy's name was changed, his appearance remained entirely the same, and his behavior was also not something that kids should be seeing. Throughout the series, Red Guy and Cow and Chicken end up slowly going from enemies to friends. However, this comes at a price, because Red Guy ends up getting overly friendly, constantly being intimate but aggressive with the two main characters, who, as I mentioned, are meant to be 7 and 11 in animal form. He always has a specific interest in Cow, who is a female character.
Oh, sweetheart, you have got it going on. Oh, you are hot.
How old is Red Guy?
Babe, those come here sailor eyes, that kiss and tell. Oh, gotcha! Help!
This nigga is kid.
What if somebody did this?
At one point, there was an episode where Red Guy pretended to be a doctor named Dr. Bottoms. And when Cow goes in for a doctor's visit, he ends up doing a checkup for other parts, ones without any medical issues.
Milk sample! Dr. Bottoms, what's that for? Well, I'm thirsty, and your daughter's a cow. Do the math!
The real controversy came when Cartoon Network aired a cow.
Cartoon Network? Golly!
Well, I'm thirsty, and your daughter's a cow. Do the math!
The real controversy came when Cartoon Network aired a Cow and Chicken episode called Buffalo Girls. This episode was immediately banned after airing because it featured a ton of inappropriate jokes poking fun at the Buffalo characters, a group of characters based on lesbian stereotype. If adult humor was a crime, then Cow and Chicken would just be beginners. The next show we talk about takes things to an entirely new level: Rocko's Modern Life. There are a few kids shows that compare to the amount of innuendos that Rocko's Modern...
If you know any of these shows, say so in chat, because I clearly don't. If you know a show, say you do in chat, because like, what the hell is this?
Life has. This American animated series follows the lives of an Australian wallaby named Rocko and his group of eccentric friends. The show first aired on Nickelodeon on September 18th, 1993, and ran for 3 years until November 1996. Despite being a kids show, Rocko's has gained a cult following for its adult humor. In almost every episode, an inappropriate topic is being referenced, whether as a joke or right out in the open. Like this scene where Rocko is working at a risque phone hotline.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Rocko? Mrs. Bighead?
Or this one scene where Rocko and Heifer Wolf visit a no-tell motel together. And judging by the
I remember being a youngin', bro. I remember being up way too late. This just made me think. I remember being up way too late on MTV, and I think it was MTV. And when it got so late, they would change to Girls Gone Wild. I don't know if that's still a thing, but Girls Gone Wild is pretty much just like a party show on MTV, I think, where they would just have girls just partying, people partying, and girls would just flash the screen. But if you didn't have HBO, I think they would like blur it. But the commercials on that channel would be like risque commercials. Would be like a risque, like hotlines. And that shit would come on at like 2 a.m. Nigga, do you know how many times I tried to call that shit? You know how many times I tried to call that shit, bro? I'd be like, oh my God. Because she would come on the commercial with like a sexy ass voice, like, hey, are you looking to get freaky tonight? Why don't you give us a call at 1-800-799-3670 and we can give you a good time, right? And I'm like, what? I'm like, nigga. I'm sitting next to my cousin. I'm like, nigga, what? Yo, pass the phone, partner. Pass the phone. But every time you fucking call, these niggas would be like, We need your credit card, your ID, la la la. I'm like, fuck y'all niggas, man. Like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I'm just a 14-year-old teenager trying to get some word action. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Tap, appreciate you for the mother freaking toss, bro. I have a mom. Tell her Happy Mother's Day for me.
Rocco and Heifer Wolf visit a no-tell motel together. And judging by the hotel clerk's words, there's clearly a picture that they're trying to paint here. Ones the kids should not be seeing.
Won't have room for another 20 minutes. You wait? Oh, we have premature departure. You can have room now. How long you want?
Just till tomorrow.
All night? Okay.
And if you're still on the fence,
Wait, what? Wait, what was happening in there? That we weren't actually doing anything in there, right? It was. Wait, what? Wait, what?
Till tomorrow.
All night? Okay.
And if you're still
Wait, what were they actually? Clearly, they wouldn't actually show that. So what was happening? What was actually happening?
still on the fence whether or not these are inappropriate, here's one scene you can't deny. Aside from the clear intimacy signs, Rocco's modern life.
I keep pausing, I know, but I have one more question. I'm kind of phased out of Cartoon Network these days, but this for the Gumball watchers in chat, for the another one that I always hear about, one with the wizard, for the Gumball watchers in chat, with the one with the wizard watch. Is this any worse than that? Is this any worse than that? Like, realistically, is this any worse than that? Like, now that I'm thinking about it, because I've seen some crazy memes of Gumball. Shout out Tap. Appreciate for the 2 boss.
Life also has more than just one-off scenes that are inappropriate for kids. There's one episode in the series has more than just one-off scenes that are inappropriate for kids. There's one episode in the series where Rocco has to go visit the doctor's office for a cough. In this episode, there were multiple moments with creepy implications. For starters, the name of the doctor is Dr. Bendova, which, if you couldn't tell already, is a play on words. The doctor examines Rocco's ear to find a naked statue inside of it. The name of the doctor is Dr. Bendova, which, if you couldn't tell already, is a play on words. The doctor examines Rocco's ear to find a naked statue inside of it, and to help cure him, Dr. Bendova prescribes a medication that ends up making Rocco feel more ill, hallucinating even. The shocker, though, is that the audience soon finds out that Dr. Bendova wasn't even a real doctor at all. He was revealed to be a mental patient, meaning that Rocco essentially took unprescribed medication. While Rocco's modern life may be riddled with these types of messages, this next show is just straight up graphic. Happy Tree Friends.
Oh my god.
Before we talk about this insane show, I want to thank this video sponsor, War Thunder.
W War Thunder, they're not sponsoring me though, but W War Thunder in the chat, W War Thunder in the chat. Happy Tree Friends, bro. My cousins first showed me that when I was a young bull. I only saw like a 3-minute clip and I was like, what the hell? What the hell is this? The most graphic show I've ever seen. I even have a series on the channel watching it because it was that graphic. I never finished it though.
Colorful lines and 7 days of premium account only for a limited time. With a colorful cast of characters and a catchy opening jingle, Happy Tree Friends seemed like your average kid's cartoon. But the truth is, this is one of the last things a parent would want their child to watch, because the moment the intro is over, the show takes a turn for the worst. Happy Tree Friends is infamous among the generation of kids who grew up on the internet. The show was based on a popular series of online sketches that were made in the 90s, which were parody pieces of children's cartoons. These sketches were meant to show show what would happen to kids' cartoon characters if they were thrown into terrifying scenarios. The sketches became so popular that it was created into a series in the mid-2000s. Although Happy Tree Friends was originally on YouTube, the series took on the format of an actual show with episodes in seasons. Soon after its release, the series would completely go viral, but it wasn't because of its plot. It was for its depictions of extreme violence.
Wild.
There are few shows out there that show cartoon characters in such graphic scenarios.
How many kills is there in one episode is the question you always need to ask.
Mainstream horror cartoon disguised as a kid's show. The scenes are completely animated in the horror genre, meaning that you can see exactly what happens to every body part when the character gets injured. And all these injuries are highly exaggerated, making it look as horrifying as possible. Although Happy Tree Friends was initially not intended for a young audience, the cheery and positive images of the characters is what drew a lot of kids to the show, including me back then. And the violence doesn't start until a few minutes into each episode, which is why kids are usually still watching at the point where things start to take a turn. This also makes it much harder for parents to catch this, since they could have already approved the show after only seeing the first few scenes. But once word spread about just how violent this show is, parents started banning it from their homes. But with the show readily available on YouTube, it was almost impossible to monitor. The show was so dark that the Russian court actually banned it from their country, stating that it showed elements of cruelty and that it harms young children's spiritual, moral education and development. Happy Tree Friends is said to
coming from the Russians, that's crazy. Coming from the Russians, that's crazy.
From their country, stating that it showed elements of cruelty and that it harms young children's spiritual, moral education and development. Happy Tree Friends is said to still be ongoing, having just released a new episode and a DLC for a video game based on the show in September of 2023. At least in the case of Happy Tree Friends, the characters are fuzzy and cute, so thinking it's a kid's show could be an honest mistake, but this next show isn't hiding anything. The Ren and Stimpy Show. When it comes to classic American cartoons, the Ren and Stimpy Show is a household name. Years ago, when it was still running, it was one of the most popular titles when it came to children's entertainment. But as the kids grew up into adults, they soon...
There's a video? Did they say there's a video game? Is that what they said? They didn't say that. Did I miss that? People keep saying... Why do you keep saying that? Might have to give that baby a try. Might have to give that baby a try.
Began titles when it came to children's entertainment, but as the kids grew up into adults, they soon began to realize that their beloved kids cartoon is actually a lot more messed up than they thought. The Ren and Stimpy Show first aired in August of 1991 on Nickelodeon and featured two emotionally unstable characters, Ren and Stimpy, who embarked on a series of unpredictable adventures together, all while battling their behavioral issues. As they embark on journeys, they encounter terrifying scenarios like this one scene where a jester uses a cheese grater on his own arm and then adds literal salt to the wound.
Oh my God.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. Not only are some episodes highly graphic, but there are also jump scares throughout the series.
Worse than Tom
the main
and Jerry.
characters are also absolutely deranged, as seen through their behavior in the show. And some of the actions they do are so disturbing that people have said it still bothers them to this day, years after. The most notable example of this is a scene where Ren takes pliers and pulls out all of his teeth, including the nerve endings attached to them. Even as an adult, watching back the scene is still unnerving, pun intended. recommended. It seems like time and time again, the characters on the show seem to put themselves in situations that end up getting them hurt. Naturally, the Ren and Stimpy Show also provided their intimate content to children. Those scripts are usually filled with underlying messages or just straight up inappropriate scenes, like this infamous one where Ren saws wood off Stimpy's back.
Ah, yes.
Oh no.
Ah, yes.
What the?
Oh, yes. Ah,
Some fans
yes.
of the show have defended it, saying that it was never meant to be a kids show, but the series did air on Nickelodeon, a prominent kids network. But regardless of whether it was meant to be for kids or not, many children did end up watching it. But while Ren and Stimpy seem to rain havoc on themselves, other animated characters act out by doing unspeakable things to others. Invader Zim. Invader Zim is considered one of the most controversial sci-fi kids cartoons ever released, despite winning multiple awards. Its pilot episode premiered on Nickelodeon on March 1st, 2001, and the show ran for only 2 seasons.
Invader Zim was a hit. It was a hit. I didn't watch it, but I know like a lot of people that did. I know people that did. And I see a lot of you saying in the chat that it's peak. I feel like you're gassing it, but I'll let it slide. But I heard a lot of people say it, so I'm just gonna let it go. I've never seen it to say it's not.
Before being on March 1st, 2001, and the show ran for only 2 seasons before being canceled by the network. This is a show that I personally used to watch. The show follows an extraterrestrial by the name of Zim, who has made his way to Earth with every plan to...
Doesn't this guy play Moxie in oh, what's that YouTube series? Hell of a Boss, right?
conquer it and take over the human...
Coming up on tomorrow.
What did I just do?
Coming up on tomorrow's teachings.
Despite winning multiple awards. Its pilot episode premiered on Nickelodeon on March 1st, 2001, and the show ran for only 2 seasons before being canceled by the network. This is a show that I personally used to watch. The show follows an extraterrestrial by the name of Zim, who has made his way to Earth with every plan to conquer it and take over the human race. Considering the plot, it's obvious that Zim does not consider human beings to be on his level. But his true feelings about the human race are much more disturbing, and you can tell by his actions throughout the show. On April 20th, 2001, just 4 episodes in, Invader Zim labeled itself as one of the creepiest kids shows to ever air on TV after releasing the infamous episode called Dark Harvest. In the second segment of the episode, Zim gets a case of head pigeons, which is a disease that causes pigeons to nest on your head. To get treated for the disease, he needs to visit the nurse. But Zim knows that if she does any tests on him, she'll find out that he's not human, but an alien. So to hide his true identity, Zim goes around the school in search of human organs to replace his own. But these organs aren't just lying around. He has to extract them from the kids at school. Zim goes around taking organs and replacing them with everyday objects like hall passes or school supplies. And in an attempt to replace them, he would eat them so that they would be found in his stomach.
You've gone too far! You're a hideous blob of stolen organs! I've been working out.
Oh my, that is weird when you an
episode called Bestest Friend, Zim quite literally takes a machine and uses it to pluck out the eyes of another student so that he can replace them with mechanical ones. The show also uses real-world incidents as plot lines, like in an episode called Plague of the Babies, where a bunch of baby-like beings were being mass abducted. So far, we focused on cartoons, but with live-action shows...
Man, does it get any scarier than mother freaking Courage the Cowardly Dog, though? If that's not in here, I'll be shocked, because that thing gave me nightmares, man. Courage the Cowardly Dog has got to be, that is a nightmare fuel of a show.
The real kids are the ones suffering the consequences. Live action Nickelodeon shows. While we've covered quite a few Nickelodeon shows on this list, so far the most inappropriate productions on the network are ones featuring real people. Not only is the creepy content being acted out live by actual kids, but other things also happen to be off camera. As you might have already heard, Nickelodeon has caught a ton of heat for its associations with the producer Dan Schneider. Although Dan has been the mastermind of popular Nickelodeon shows like Victorious, iCarly, and The Amanda Show, what he's best known for is not his work. but rather what he did to the actors that were part of these projects. From the hidden messages to making actors uncomfortable with inappropriate scenes, all of Dan's shows have been ripped apart for their questionable plot lines. And this history runs deep because Dan's been a walking red flag ever since his first executive producer credit, The Amanda Show. The Amanda Show was a popular sketch comedy show that first premiered on Nickelodeon on October 16, 1999. The show came out following the widespread success of the sketch comedy show All That. All That kickstarted Amanda Bynes' career in Hollywood, and Nickelodeon knew that they had to capitalize on that. A couple years later, they gave Dan the green light to create the spin-off The Amanda Show, which cemented Dan Schneider as a known kid show producer and paved the road to stardom for Amanda. However, despite the lighthearted nature of this show, it was actually extremely disturbing. After careful analysis of Dan's behavior with the main cast, many people have pinpointed The Amanda Show as the reason for Amanda Bynes' real-world tragedy.
Jesus, this is just, every time I see her, I'm like, dog, like, how, bro, how? It, like, man, it hurts, bro, it hurts. Just like, bro, this one hurt more than anything. Like, bruh.
Tragedies. In The Amanda Show, Amanda Bynes and a cast featuring the likes of Drake Bell, Nancy Sullivan, and Ashley Tisdale perform comedy sketches to a live audience. They take on a variety of different roles in these sketches, from one-off characters to recurring personalities. But although the goal of the sketches was to make kids laugh, many of them were actually highly inappropriate. Dan had executive power over any and every sketch that was featured on the show, and more times than not, he would make his young cast film a sketch that was not suitable for their age.
Bro.
One of the most well-known incidents was the jacuzzi sketch.
Nah, you can't show that one. Trust me. The one they gotta show is the one with freaking Ariana Grande with a water bottle upside down, POV style, going, that shit is out of pocket, nigga. What? That, like, I feel like after that scene, it should have been like, all right, lock this nigga the fuck up. Who the fuck decided to show this? Whose idea was it to put this, to let this to the fucking final cut? Because lock that nigga up right now. That shit is crazy. Like, that in that whole documentary, I was like, nah, bro, there's no way you're good. Like, how does this slide? How does this slide, bro? She is like 14, 15 at that time, nigga. Get the fuck up out of here. Lock her up. Lock him up.
Age. One of the most well-known incidents was the jacuzzi sketch. During the sketch, Amanda Bynes was wearing a swimsuit and sitting in a jacuzzi next to a fully clothed Dan Schneider, all while Dan cracks a joke at the audience, telling them that he wrote this very scene.
Now, you're the executive producer of the show?
Yeah, I am the executive producer and I'm the head writer.
You actually wrote the words you're saying to them right now?
Yes, I actually wrote this whole conversation that we're having right now.
At the time, most people didn't even think twice about this scene, but now, looking back, it was a sign that Dan had other motivations. Dan purposely reminded the audience that he had full control over the show, meaning that he could make the actors do anything he wanted and they could not refuse. And all of these questionable sketches became more disturbing after learning that convicted criminals were actually on the set of the show. These staff members were given roles that put them near the cast. One of the cast members, Brandy, revealed that a staff member sent her a disgusting picture via email, which she ended up reporting to the police. Brandy was also immediately pulled from the show. Another suspicious plotline in The Amanda Show involved a recurring character that Amanda played called Penelope Taint. Recently, the Quiet on Set docuseries revealed that the last name Taint refers to a body part within the lower region. But hiding these themes in sketches was not a new thing for Dan. Ever since his time as a producer on the 90s comedy show All That, Dan's shown that he's no stranger to offensive jokes, ones at the expense of his own cast. Brian Christopher Herney was a child actor and part of the main cast for...
When it comes to real life shows, it's just like, it's weird. In a cartoon, it's a cartoon. It's a fucking cartoon. Like, you don't have to explain this. It's a cartoon. But when you're trying to do these same themes in a real life show with real underage people, hey man, say man, Say, man.
All That's 7th and 8th seasons. Despite being a main cast member, Brian rarely got sketches that appealed to him. In fact, he usually got the worst kinds. Brian revealed in the Quiet on Set documentary that he was often forced to play characters that portray black stereotypes. In one particular sketch, Brian was asked to play a kid who was selling cookies, but of course the producers asked him to play it like he was selling drugs. And possibly the most infamous allegation about Dan is that he's into feet, which has made itself known through all of his producer credits. In every show Dan has been a part of, he has placed scenes involving child actors showing their bare feet or even doing weirder things with them. In some of his most popular shows, Dan's had more than just a few scenes where the plot revolves around feet. For example, in season 1, episode 12 of Victorious, everyone at Hollywood Arts High School is obsessing over Trina's soft feet. There's a scene where she's standing in the hallway with her bare feet out while classmates form a circle around her to touch her feet. The episode then progresses with feet being a central plot line. Everyone is envious of Trina and her soft feet, so she shares her secret, puka fish, which eat at the dead skin of her feet. In this episode, multiple actors had their bare feet out, and this is just one of the many instances on
stop yapping and show me your feet!
Had to show their feet on camera. Not to mention that iCarly and Sam and Cat also had similar themes. But undoubtedly, the creepiest scene on Nickelodeon involving feet is this clip of Ariana Grande. This video recently resurfaced and went viral after the Quiet on Set documentary dropped because it's one of the biggest red flags that we failed to notice when Dan was a top dog in the industry. This video was produced for theslap.com, a website designed for fans of the show Victorious. It imitates the social media platform seen on the show. Cast members would upload short video diaries there to give the site an authentic feel to keep fans engaged. Ariana Grande was no exception, but unlike some of her other cast members, her videos always seemed to be the most disturbing because it seemed like she was being made to do things that could be interpreted in dirtier ways.
Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out.
Not only is it odd for kids to be watching Ariana shove her foot in her mouth, but the video
for some reason, when you looked at it back then, you didn't think anything of it, right? I've seen this. Like, when you looked at it back then, I'm just going to be honest, you didn't think anything of it. Because no one's looking at a children's show or anything and expecting it to be, like, to have some weird connotation to it. You know what I'm saying? And now, when you have some context, you're looking at it, you're like, nah, bro. Nah, bro.
The video is also filmed in a very specific way. There are multiple jump cuts of Ariana from different angles while making certain expressions. And this wasn't the only time that Ariana was forced to create content like this. And when you see the rest, you might even think
it's shot, and what makes it worse is it's shot in like a freaking couch cast way. Am I geeking? It's shot in like a couch cast type of
time that Ariana was forced to create content like this. And when you see the rest, you might even think that video was nothing.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
That clip was actually posted on theslap.com, and it's pretty obvious.
That's not the one I'm talking about still. I thought it was one, but that's not it. Hold on.
Ariana's character, Kat, constantly posted these types of vlogs on theslap.com. While they didn't usually air on TV, there were thousands and thousands of kids visiting the site every day because they were huge fans of
Victorious. They're not going to show it.
Instead of seeing appropriate content, they were seeing content like Ariana trying to drink water upside down.
Is it possible for a teenage girl to drink water upside down?
And these are just a few.
Bro, it's real. He's not gonna show the clip, respectfully so. But nigga, it's wild. That is wild. Like, wild. Wild. But on another note, can we talk about how good Nickelodeon games were though? Can we talk about how good Nick.com games used to be? I totally forgot those. Nickelodeon games, bro? Them things were heat. Them things were heat. Them things were heat, boy. I totally forgot, bro. Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network has some fire games. Disney Channel has some heaters too. And I don't know if y'all remember, but they were running a Kids Next Door international contest when I was a kid. And I still remember that, bro. I wanted to win so bad. I forgot what you had to do. But you had to play the game. on Kids Next Door and beat it faster than anybody else. I was nowhere close to beating it, bro. But man, oh my God, good.
Few of the countless
girl to drink.
Ariana trying to drink water upside down.
Is it possible for a teenage girl to drink water upside down?
And these are just a few of the countless examples, with Dan having been a part of almost all of the most popular kids shows from the last 20 to 30 years. It's almost impossible for a kid to have not seen some of his work. But while Dan may have pulled the strings behind the scenes, some are openly disturbing while the cameras are rolling, just like Mom. Just Like Mom was the go-to entertainment for kids and families in suburban Canada in the 1980s. This game show, hosted by Fergie Ulver, featured kids and their mothers as they tried to match each other's answers to a series of questions. The show aired on CTV from 1980 to 1985 with a total of 595 episodes. The first round of the show started with Fergie interviewing the kids, asking them questions about their mom and seeing just how much they knew about her. Things got concerning because Fergie would get a little too up close and personal with the contestants, and not just through the questions.
Can I have a hug and a kiss?
This is just scary. Like, you look at it now, it's like it makes you feel uncomfortable on the inside, like goosebumps type. What the fuck?
Even if I say and whisper in your ear that Allison, you're gonna win the show.
Fergie would go as far as to straight up kiss contestants while they were answering questions, all without asking for permission from them or their parents. It even got to the point where Fergie openly admitted his desire to marry one of his contestants. Meanwhile, his wife was co-hosting the show and said nothing about it. Fergie did.
I bet you if it was just like that, this shit would have never happened. This shit would have never. If it was just like that, this shit would have never fucking happened, bro. Ever. Like, get the fuck up out of here. I'm waxing your ass. You got me like, what? You're gonna sit there with your mom right there? What are we doing? What are we doing? Somebody slap the shit out this nigga, bro. Gummy, I appreciate you for the 2 toss, bro. Have a good night.
This to almost every contestant that went on his show. Their mothers were on set too, since they had to participate in the second round, but few could do anything with all the cameras on them. Unfortunately, Fergie had made this the new norm for Just Like Mom. No one in the audience, staff, or even his own wife seemed to question what he was doing, so nothing much was done. And the show kept running, although Fergie eventually stepped down. Fortunately, things changed dramatically after he was no longer the host, and it doesn't seem like any action was taken against him. But Fergie My Friends is still far from the worst. That honor goes to Ron William Brown, the most revolting child show host ever. Joy Junction. Joy Junction was a Christian-themed game show featuring a ventriloquist named Ron Brown and his puppet Marty. The show had kid contestants participate in a series of challenges, do a wide variety of different religious activities, and learn lessons from the Bible. Joy Junction aired on TBN in the mid-1980s. But don't let the name fool you, because there was nothing joyful about the show. In fact, it was much more sinister than anyone could have ever imagined. At first glance, the only creepy thing about the show may have just been the creepy design of the puppet, but if you take a closer look at how Ron interacted with the kids, you might find it a little more unsettling. Ron would host weekly gatherings with the younger cast members at his trailer park home. These were his so-called pizza parties, and while this was already weird, no parent suspected that Ron, a religious host of a Christian game show, would be up to anything wrong.
How it all started was all of a sudden there was boys found at his house.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I was not paying attention.
Started was all of a sudden there was boys found
underwear
at his house.
When Ron was caught, he was quick on his feet. He said that these clothes were actually for his puppet Marty, and since Ron was loved by many of the members of his Christian community, they took his word for it, assuming it was the truth. But that was their mistake. Over time, it started getting harder and harder to deny that Ron may not be the person that everyone thought he was. So his home was searched by the police, and they found incriminating evidence of
My nigga, any like how many times? I mean, I guess this was before Nickelodeon, but it's like, you're going to let your kids go to some random man's house who has no kids too? Like, that should be the red flag. You're telling me you want my kids to go to your house and spend the day with you, but you don't even have kids, to make this a little bit less weird? Right? Like you don't even have, like, It's like, oh, have them come spend time with my kids. No, have them come spend time with me at my house, alone, with just me. What are you gonna talk about? Like, what are you gonna do together, bruh? What are you gonna do? Like, come on now. People be so quick to try to get their kids out the door. It's like, nigga, who are you pushing them to?
Thought he was. So his home was searched by the police and they found incriminating evidence of exactly what Ron had planned to do with some of the cast members, and it involved cooking and eating them. Fortunately, they were able to lock him up before he could carry out any of those plans, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
What? 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 Bro, I didn't know what was gonna be next. And I knew it was gonna be dark. Of course, he sounded like a pedophile. But that came out of left freaking field. That came out of left freaking field. And I'm sorry, you're only gonna give him 20 years for that, for wanting to cook and eat his children, and possibly have done even worse. 20 years. That's all. You think he's gonna come out a changed man? I don't know one nigga that's been eating kids that's gonna come out a changed man.
And they found incriminating evidence of exactly what Ron had planned to do with some of the cast members, and it involved cooking and eating them. Fortunately, they were able to lock him up before—
I ain't gonna lie, Venture, you a hoe. You a hoe for adding the freaking sound effects. I'm not gonna lie, I'm mad at you for that, because it gave it a whole new thing. You terrible for adding the cooking sound effects in the background.
And it involved
you know that.
Cooking and eating.
You know that.
Fortunately, they were able to lock him up before he could carry out any of those plans, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Let these shows be a reminder that things aren't always what they seem, and if you take a closer look, you might find that the truth is darker than you think. My friends, protect the young ones in your life, and always question what lies beneath the surface. Visual Venture. Thanks a ton to War Thunder. Play it for free on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox now by using my link below.
What a video. What a video. This man always has if there's one person on YouTube that can let you know how truly dark the world can be for these niggas out here just want to be happy-go-lucky all the time, it's Visual freaking Venture. Visual freaking, good job, man. Great job. That was awesome. Once again, that was awesome. Jesus. I'm not watching that right now, so I still want to watch it another day for sure. Post it in the Discord. These videos make me lose faith in humanity. I don't think they should. Every single human is capable of bad. Like, I don't think people should be like unaware of that case, right? Like, and if you think that's not true, then ask niggas in war. Like, they've literally had to kill people. They've watched people get hung, wiped, raped. Like, people are very much capable of the worst, and there's no reason to act like it's not true. However, there are still a shit ton of good people, and the good, I feel like, wipes out the bad. Like, one good person, it takes 10 bad people to equal one good person. That's how I've always thought about it. Like, one good nigga can change a lot, but it takes 10 of you bad niggas to really make shit go crazy. But anyways, BBL Drizzy, Yeah, I'm thinking about BBL jersey too. Good people, where? If you think the world is a bad place, and that is what you'll get, my friend. That's what you'll get. Being rude, hurtful, mean, horrendous is easy. Being kind and good and thoughtful is challenged with the rest of the with the best of the results. I like that. Bro, I don't think that's what's happened for 1940s. What do you mean? So you're trying to argue that one thing in 1940s means the whole world is bad. That's what you're trying to argue right now? Are you trying to argue that because Hitler happened then, that on the other side of the world, that means the whole world is bad? In one side of the world. Think about that. Think about the argument you're trying to make right there. Really think about that. And that nobody was trying to stop him the whole time. Everybody was just with him like, yeah, bro. Really? Like, really? Like, that's the argument you're making? Really? Really? Really?